How is it going, everyone? It's Johnny Bean here with another episode of the Streamer Stories podcast. My guest today is someone I have admired for many years, and I'm so privileged to have them on the podcast. They are, of course, DeathTropes. Here you are. Hello. So good to see you, sir.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me on, dude.
I can't wait.
I want to be on here for a really long time.
Oh, bless you. It's so funny. We were just saying beforehand, we're like, we have known each other for many years now, and it's like
for a long time, dude.
And I'm like, I've really respected what you've done for so long, man. And like, it is almost like, why hasn't this happened sooner? I don't know why. Time and
it's been years. It's been years, because you followed me on the Streamer Stories channel, and I was like, oh, this looks awesome. I can't wait to be on this. And then it was forever, and I kept looking, like watching them and like seeing the shorts and whatnot. And then I was like, it'd be cool to be on this one day. And we just never talked about it. So I'm glad that like I was talking to you, and you're like, I gotta have you on soon. I'm like, you just let me know when. Please let me know when. And then we finally connected, and here we are. So I'm really, really happy about it.
So excited, man. So excited. So, so we've known each other for many years, and as I really respect what you've done as a streamer, but also obviously in terms of like just how talented you are, and most importantly, you're just a genuine S tier dude. Like, you're such a nice guy. So, like,
thank you so much.
And like, I don't think we know each other, and we know a lot of people in the circles, and like, genuinely, no, I don't think I've heard anyone say a bad word about you. You're like such a lovely guy, man. So
if someone did, I'd be like, what did I do? Like, what happened?
Me too.
I would be like, hey, what happened?
I'll be what did he do?
What did you do to upset him? Like,
yeah, it's clearly a you problem. Oh man. So obviously I know who you are, DeathTropes. So do you want to introduce yourself, introduce to people who you are, what you do, where we can find you, social medias?
Okay, well, my name is DeathTropes. I would just tell people I am a horror speedrunner. I speedrun a lot of Silent Hill games, a lot of Resident Evil games, a lot of other various horror games. I'm a big fan of Puppet Combo, and they're indie horror games, so I speedrun a number of those as well. But mainly the Silent Hill and Resident Evil franchise is what I mainly focus on.
Incredible, yeah. And you're on social media, on YouTube, you're on Twitch.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so twitch.tv/DeathTropes, and then YouTube DeathTropes, on Blue Sky DeathTropes on, and I'm full disclosure, I'm 36 and I don't know how to use TikTok. I don't, but I made one just because I was like, oh, I have clips, I can just throw them on there and then just let them rip. So I do have a TikTok on there as well. It's just DeathTropes. It's all the same.
It's all the same.
So just wherever you want, you'll find them. You'll find me.
It's such a cool name, man. It's such a cool name. I don't normally start with this, but where did you get the name from? Has it been something that you've been online with?
So here, like, I actually didn't pick my name.
Oh, okay.
I had a friend help me get a new name, because I had one a long time ago. I won't say what it is. For those who have watched me for a long, long time, you will know what it is. And I didn't like it, and so I changed it. Okay, fine. It was Lord of Terror. It's very, very cringe. It's very edgelord, and I knew that. So I was like, I need to change this. I don't like this. So I had my friend talk to me. I was like, well, I don't know what to do. I still want to have the same vein of like a horror-esque name, this and that and the other. And then what she did was she actually like wrote out a list of names.
Right. Yeah.
Because she's a writer, so like she like just had that like knack for just thinking of cool creative stuff like that. And that was one of the names. Like, I kind of like that. So it's funny also over time, because I will say 99% of people on Twitch just call me Tropes, which is totally fine.
Yeah,
and it's just easier to say. It rolls off the tongue, and that's usually what I just say. Hey, I'm Tropes. What's up? How are you? And so I actually would like to eventually change my name to just Tropes.
Right. Yeah.
But the funny thing is, so there is somebody on Twitch with that name. They don't stream. They haven't been active in years, but you still have the name forever. And so I've actually messaged them saying, hey, said who I was, like what I did, like blah, blah, blah. I never heard back from them. And they haven't streamed in, I think, like probably 8 years now, something like that. I always go back and check every now and again. And then I've actually messaged Twitch, which we know how helpful they can be. And they have never responded to me. And I've messaged them multiple times, like, hey, like, this person isn't active anymore. I've been wanting this name for a long time. Can you help me? Yada, yada, yada. And I've never heard back. And it's not surprising. But it is what it is. So if I do get partner, though, you can change your name.
Yes, you can.
And even if somebody has it, you can actually take it. So if that happens, I'm hoping so. Hoping for this next year. I think we can do it. But anyways, I would absolutely love just the name Tropes because it's short and sweet, and everybody calls me anyway. So I was like, why not? But anyways, sorry, it was kind of long-winded.
No.
But I got DeathTropes because of a friend's suggestion. Actually, I didn't think of it. So, so like that's probably not the most, interesting story, but it was just interesting how it kind of fell. And I was like, I like the name. It's fun. It's still kind of like fun, but also like horror adjacent. I like it. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
So that's how I got it.
That's amazing. Love that story. Yeah, and you are right. It's so annoying, isn't it? How we can't. Because I'm trying to get rid of the underscore everywhere. I'm Johnny_Beard in so many places. I'm like, please, like on Twitter, on Instagram, on Twitch. I'm like, please, like I've messaged. I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, please, come on. You don't even tweet anymore. You don't do anything.
Yes, like there's nothing, and like if they're not my thought is if they're not using the account at all. Like, if you're not active for, like, let's say a year on Twitch, your name should be up for grabs.
Yep.
That is my personal take, unless you're a partnered streamer.
Yeah.
But if you're, like, not active, you're not doing anything, you don't have videos up, nothing, then, Anyways, but that's just my personal take on it. But,
yeah. I think we should get, like, the email warnings, because you get that in certain other, like, websites, don't you? Like, if you haven't used your account in 2-3 years, come on. If you don't use it in the next...
Exactly.
3 months...
Or at least log in. You know what I mean? You have to do something.
Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree. Okay, but that's now. So let's talk about childhood, man. Let's talk about games we played as a kid. So what are your first memories of even seeing a video game? Never mind playing it, unless obviously you did that as well. Talk us about that.
I think my earliest memory of any game ever was I used to live in an apartment with my dad when I was very, very little, like a toddler, probably 4 or 5, probably 5, because it's one of my earliest memories. But it was in my bedroom, and he had an NES, a Nintendo, for those of you who don't know what that is. And the first video game I ever remember seeing was Mega Man.
Nice.
The first Mega Man game, which is an incredibly hard game for a child to play.
Right.
And start with. So I had that. I had Mario Duck Hunt combo, because I think that's what a lot of us had also. I had Mario Brothers 3, which is my personal favorite Mario game. And this Dungeons and Dragons game on the NES, actually, which was super, super cool, but I could never... I literally would get one foot in the game and then die immediately because I'm 5. So... But yeah, I would say that Mega Man... The original Mega Man was my first experience of an actual video game.
Amazing.
So,
you know what? Believe it or not, I've never played a Mega Man game. It's going to be happening at some point. My son loves it, though.
Dude.
Like you might have seen Braden Beard on some of my streams. Like, he loves Mega Man. But it's such a great concept in terms of how clever it is. So you can obviously do it in whatever order you want to do it in, and different things happen. There's technically a right way or a wrong way now, but back in those days you didn't know that. So how was your relationship?
Yeah, there was no internet to look up what boss do I beat first? What boss is weak to this? Like, there was no way of finding that stuff out. So you're just like going through each level, getting to the boss, and then hoping you have what it takes to defeat this boss, and then people eventually figured out their weaknesses by just trial and error, and eventually just figuring things out, and then putting them up on Game Facts, which I'm sure some of us know what that is.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's just awesome. And Mega Man is an incredible series. Even if you don't start with the originals, I would absolutely recommend going through the X series.
Right. Yeah.
Which is everything's updated. Although it's very, very cool. It's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I've got to pop that cherry at some point, and I know it'll happen soon for sure. So yeah, nice. So NES start off with. Where did you steer from there? Were you Nintendo for a while, or do you kind of go a different direction?
I was Nintendo for a while. I went from the NES, and then my mother got me the Super NES when I was young, when it came out. I was older than when it came out, but anyways, so I think the Super NES came out in 91, 92, something like that. It was pretty early. Maybe it was later, but I think that's what it was. But anyway, so my mom got me a Super NES, and I played Super Mario World. That was it. Super Mario World, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, which is one of my favorite games ever. Yeah. Fantastic. You're just gonna hear me say a bunch of hard video games, and I don't like having fun. That's kind of what the vibe is. But yeah, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. That was awesome. Great game. And Turtles in Time.
Nice.
The Ninja Turtles, fantastic game. Castlevania 4, also a great game, and I was super into my Super Nintendo. But what's funny is what got me away from Nintendo, because then my dad got me a Nintendo 64, and I played Star Fox, Mario 64, all those games too. But what got me away from Nintendo was when I was really young, my house got broken into, and the robbers stole my Super Nintendo.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
And
Yeah.
the person it was very sad because I had a ton of
Yeah.
games for it. You know, they took a lot of me and my mother's stuff. It was very, very sad. And I was like, I think like 11, 12, something like that. But my mom's boyfriend at the time gave me his PlayStation.
Okay.
And that
Yeah.
was my very first time with a disc system. And uh, that was like my first like departure from Nintendo was the
Right.
PlayStation, and he gave me two games that he had for it. It was Twisted Metal 2, and Final Fantasy 7.
Oh,
So
what a
like
duo.
two, yeah, two massive games. Especially Final Fantasy 7, and me being a child, I didn't understand Final Fantasy 7 and how insane that game was going to be. We're kind of breaking away in other things, I feel, but that was my first takeaway from Nintendo into a totally different console and totally different style of game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Incredible. All right, we'll have to park PS1, which is definitely going to come back to that. But I mean, yeah, your Nintendo
please.
games then. So I mean, Super Girls. I mean, a lot of people see that as one of like the first proper horror games, don't they? I mean, obviously we can go back to like the granddaddy of like we got oh my goodness me, Alone in the Dark and stuff like that, haven't we?
Sure.
But like in terms of like almost like cartoonish kind of horror, it was one of them that really people talk back about as being like one of the big pioneers of the genre, really. So you were there,
Yes.
yeah, nice. And yeah, some lovely titles there on Nintendo games. Like Castlevania is obviously fantastic as well. Star Fox, very sweet stuff, man. Like, yeah, did you play much in terms of like multiplayer stuff back in those days, or was it just mostly like single player games?
So mainly growing up, I don't want to get I don't get emotional or depressing, but I didn't have like friends growing up. I have I have a brother and I have a sister, but they're both much younger than me. So I was an only child through like most of my childhood. Um, and so like all I did at home was I read and I played video games. That's pretty much what I did when I
Yeah,
wasn't, doing homework or in school. Um, so I didn't really get into multiplayer games until I was a little bit older. I would say until I was like maybe like mid-teens, like late teens, probably late teens, or late teens, very 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 early 20s. Um, I guess the first like real multiplayer game I played besides like a shooter, the first multiplayer game that I played was World of Warcraft,
right.
which
Yeah.
I played World of Warcraft for 7 years, which I
Wow.
know is not a long time compared to a lot of other people, but I played it from when it first came out until like a few expansions like into it, and like that was probably the most time I ever spent in a multiplayer game was playing World of Warcraft. And don't do what I did. I absolutely would skip school in high school to go home and play World of Warcraft all the time. So don't do that. But it was like it was kind of fun. I would go to school because I actually lived across the street from my school. So I'd walk to school and then I would just turn around and walk home because my mom would go to
Yeah.
work. Like, well, going home, I guess. So I would just play
Yeah.
World of Warcraft all day. And then the day that they would get and I would have somebody. Okay, this is not. Don't do this either. But I would actually have a friend call me out of work as my mother, so I could stay home sick from work to play World of Warcraft. And I'm like 16, and it's a
Yeah.
terrible idea. But in my head, I'm like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. But no, horrible, absolutely terrible. Don't do that.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh my god, I love that story. Oh man. Okay, but I mean, 7 years, especially when it came out, right? Again, people don't realize this now, but back in the early 2000s, right? I mean, as we know, being of that generation, that was quite niche. Like World of Warcraft obviously pioneered the whole thing, really, in that respect, right? So 7 years, like at that point, is a long time. Let's be honest. You know, it's a big commitment. So yeah, fair play to you. Sorry.
Again, I would play like no, I'm sorry. I would like play a Call of Duty or Battlefield with friends, but I mean it wasn't the same. I would play like a couple rounds, like, all right, I'm good. I'm gonna go jump on my priest on World of Warcraft now. Like that's kind of where I was at. But I wasn't super into like the COD shooters and stuff. Maybe like a little bit, but it tapered off super quickly. I also know that I am a very I'm a sore loser. I know it, and I know that's not a great thing, but I also don't put myself into positions where I will be a sore loser. So I just can't play games like that because I get mad and annoyed very easily. So me playing a game like that, if I get killed like 3 times in a row, I'm gonna be like, no, I'm done. All right, we're good. Like I can't do it. I know where my mental stability ends, and it's at that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I've never been a big shooter guy either. Like I've never. It's quite funny because like I don't mind, like I didn't mind the early games like Doom and stuff like that, right? But when I came into like the proper like FPS shooters of that era, like Call of Duty and stuff like that, Battlefield and stuff, I've never been that guy. I've never really understood why. Like I've always seemed to like appreciate like a horror element of the FPS. Like I love, like you mentioned, Doom, but I also like a bit of Left 4 Dead, stuff like that. I don't mind it in that type of tone, but I don't necessarily like just like the war boom boom type of thing. It doesn't really got me. I don't know why. It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, we got to talk about PS1. I mean, I was not expecting that though when you're saying like Twisted Metal and Final Fantasy VII.
A lot of people don't. Yeah, those were my first games that were not Nintendo, and I didn't know what to expect with Twisted Metal, and then I popped it in, and then I hear Rob Zombie playing as I'm like shooting other cars, and I'm like, dude, this is the best game ever.
Yes.
I played it for hours, and then I was like, what's Final Fantasy VII? And I had no idea that what I was about to play would have been a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
Because that game is still one of the best games ever made. And I don't know who can argue that. Even if you don't like RPGs, you can't deny that the story and everything that happens in that game is absolutely fantastic. Especially a game of its. I think the game came out, I think it was 97?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
I think it was 97. And it absolutely it changed my whole perspective on video games as a young person, because when I first finished that game, I think I was in middle school. I think I was in 8th grade, and I was at the final boss. I was at Sephiroth, as I'm sure most of you have played this game, and I stayed up till 3 a.m. beating him, because if you've played that game before, and you don't know what you're doing, that game is very, very hard. And so I was getting murdered at the end of that game for hours, and I finally beat that boss. Finally finished that game at 3 a.m. in 8th grade, and it was one of the coolest things ever. And it changed my entire perspective on storytelling and video games and everything from then on out. It's just such a masterpiece, I will say, of a story, and it's awesome. It's so cool.
Yeah, man. I feel like everyone's got like a Final Fantasy VII story when they played it. Like I remember beating Final Fantasy VII. I don't think it was quite as late as you. It's probably about 11 o'clock at night, our time. And I played it on my own in my bedroom, beat the game. Oh my god! I remember running down the stairs to my family. They were all watching The Terminator, and I was like, "I've just beat Final Fantasy VII," and they were like,
"Beat it!"
They were like, yeah, okay.
Cool.
And like, okay then. So I was walked back to the bedroom and just like, no, that's just for me. This is me. I've won. That's fine. Yeah. Type of thing. Yeah. I did it. Yeah. Oh, that's such a good game.
I was sitting in a wooden kitchen chair in the middle of the living room, 3 feet away from the TV. I was playing like this because we had CRTs. And a very small, probably like 27-inch CRT, and I'm like this as a little kid, like against the glass pretty much, and like I beat Sephiroth, and then you're watching that final cutscene, and I was just like, as a kid, I'm just like being quiet, but I'm just like, oh my god, I did it! Like I think it was the first time I beat a game where I was like, oh my god, I finished it, I beat it. Because when I was younger, I was like, oh cool, I beat it. Like I beat Mario, okay, cool, whatever. But with Final Fantasy, it's a game you put in so much time, especially your first time. Like you don't know what to do, you don't know where you're going, you know what I mean, and taking all that time and beating it is just such a crazy awesome thing, especially when you're young and you do it. Like it's awesome. It's cool.
Completely agree. I think it's again, it's just like you said there was no game like it really. I think for maybe our generation, because and for lots, it was a one of a kind, monumental title. But like in terms of like the amount of hours you pumped into that game, probably like you said at that point, you probably never put that amount of investment of time into a game like that before. So I think everyone probably has that experience, either playing Final Fantasy VII or maybe their first proper like RPG, maybe, because it is an investment of time and like energy, and you're like, oh, it's over, in a good way, obviously. Yeah. And you got, oh, I'm glad you mentioned Rob Zombie. It's funny you mentioned, like, I reckon Rob Zombie unlocked so many of our childhood metal stories. Like, for me, it was actually Sledstorm. I listened to, like, a remix of Dragula in Sledstorm. That was my first foray into Rob Zombie before I became a big wrestling fan, and then
That's
he
awesome.
was Edge's theme
Yeah,
song
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. But, like, oh, yeah. I always forget he's in Twisted Metal as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm playing and I'm like, what is this? And it's like it's Dragulair, and I was like, oh my god, like what is this? This is so cool. And I'm like 11,
Yeah.
so I'm just like, I love this. So yeah, it was awesome.
Oh man, Rob Zombie. I still, I still haven't seen him live yet. I need to see him. Like this new album coming
Oh,
out. I'm like,
dude,
please, UK tour,
I
please.
saw him. I saw him with it was him and it was Marilyn Manson, and it
Oh
was such an awesome show. It was so cool. It was so
yeah,
cool.
I missed that. They did bring that to the UK, and I was like, I just couldn't afford it at the time. I was like, no.
Uh,
So
no,
yeah. Oh
you
man.
have to. I will say it is an event. It is a spectacle for sure.
Oh man, goodness me. So we got to talk about PS1 then. Like, I'm sure there's some titles coming up, but any what other titles do you think you can talk about before we talk about the two big franchises? Do you think?
Oh, on PS1.
Yeah.
That I was into besides Final Fantasy. I got really into obviously before the obvious ones. Okay, this is a weird one, but have you ever played Siphon Filter?
Oh yeah, I have a long
Yes.
time ago now, but yeah, I have.
Love
Yes.
Siphon Filter. That game scared the piss out of me. As a kid, scared me. It scared me because the opening level, you're like shooting, you're like, I don't know what the game's about or anything, and you're shooting all these guys, and the game is dark because you're playing on a freaking tiny screen. You don't know what you're looking at, and there's a part where you go down into a subway station. I would not do it. I could not. It was the scariest thing I'd ever seen. I was like, I don't want to go down here. I'm terrified, and I never beat it as a kid because I was too scared to walk down some steps into a subway station.
Oh my
Like it
god.
was the weirdest thing. And then I played Resident Evil,
There we go.
and and you get into the mansion, and you all, if you've played the original, especially if you were younger, over your first time, and you're not expecting it, the hallway you run through with the dogs,
Yeah.
I think I threw the controller up because I was playing it at my cousin's house. I didn't own it, my cousin did. And I was like, "Yo, dude, you got to play Resident Evil." I'm like, "What the heck is that?" It's a scary game. Okay, let's play it. And I got so scared and I was immediately obsessed. Like
Yeah.
immediately obsessed with it. And I played that one, and then I played two, then I played three. Like I played them all like very, because I didn't play it when it first came out. I just didn't have access to it.
Yeah.
And then at that time, unless someone told you about it, you weren't gonna really know about it. You know what I mean? Like, or unless you went to like a game store all the time, which I didn't as a kid really, until later on. But I got so obsessed with Resident Evil, and I fell in love with the series at a
Yeah.
very, 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 very young age, and I played them over and over and over again. And funny enough, so I did not play a Silent Hill game though until the third one,
Oh,
which
fascinating.
is something that no one usually that doesn't really know. And I play every Silent Hill game. I speedrun most Silent Hill games. I didn't play any of them until later on. And the first one that I played was Silent Hill 3,
Right.
and I thought it was the scariest game, the scariest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life when the
Yeah.
game first came out.
I
And
bet.
the visuals are horrifying, especially
Yeah.
when you're young. And my mom used to take me to Blockbuster all the time. I'm gonna date myself, but we used to go every Friday. We would get two movies, and I would rent a video game for the weekend. And I remember renting Silent Hill 3 because like this cover looks cool. It was just, it's Heather's face, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this looks like a scary game. And I'd heard of the first one because I'm sure a lot of us did, I had the Konami demo disc
Right. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
had like Dino Crisis on it, and it had the video for Silent Hill 1. It didn't have any gameplay, but it had like the trailer for Silent Hill 1 on it. And I watched that with my cousin, and I was like, oh, this looks freaking awesome. And I never played it. And I kind of didn't forget about it. I just kind of like just never got a chance to play the first one. And I kind of moved on to Resident Evil and other things. Then I got older and I rented Silent Hill 3, and it scared me to death. I slept with
Yeah.
the lights on for a week because of that game,
Yeah.
and it horrified me. And then I played 4,
Okay.
I didn't
Yeah.
play 2 until much later.
Right.
It was just
Okay.
weird
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's in 2 is everyone it gets everybody hooked usually. I didn't play 2 till after I played 4, and I love 2. Don't get me wrong, I adore that game. It is a very very good horror game. It's got an amazing story. It's got a very famous story. Um, but I just played 3 and 4 first. And again, I didn't have a lot of money growing up. I didn't have access to a lot of games. I would usually rent them, to be honest, until
Yeah.
I got older. I started buying my own stuff. But yeah, then I got into Silent Hill 3, Silent Hill 4. Then I played 2, and then eventually I played 1. 1 was the last one I played of the
Right.
original 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just want to say, like, that series is so incredible. And while I love Resident Evil in its own way, because, like, I break it down like this: Resident Evil is amazing, but it's about zombies, explosions, bioweapons, virus. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty much like that's it. Like,
Yeah.
you got that's pretty much what it is. Whereas Silent Hill, it's like real world occultism. You got, you know, these crazy monsters that are, especially the first one, that are basically created by a little girl's mind, essentially. And all this other stuff, and it's just such a vast universe, like, within the town itself. And of course they've gone outside the town now, especially with Silent Hill F, and all sorts of other stuff with the games that came after the original Team Silent games. But it's just got such a crazy, weird, obtuse universe that it is not so cut and dry as Resident Evil, which is like zombies, virus, bioweapons, Wesker, stars. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it just goes beyond that in terms of, like, psychological horror.
Yeah.
Not saying there's anything wrong with Resident Evil. Like, it's amazing. Like, I love the series. But yeah, Silent Hill just has that feeling about it that is so just off. It's hard to put into words, to be honest. And I think you know what I'm talking about, though.
I do.
It's just such an odd feeling, especially when you're playing a Silent Hill game for the first time. Like, it's just an odd feeling, especially when you don't know the story, you don't know what's going on, and it's just so freaking weird and obtuse. Especially Silent Hill 4, because I don't know if you've played Silent Hill 4, but it is not everybody's favorite. I personally think it is a fantastic game. But it's so weird. It doesn't make any sense half the time, and it's not afraid to go in some weird places, which is why a lot of people don't think like it, because it feels weird. It feels off. It doesn't feel like a traditional Silent Hill game.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like that, and that's fine. Like, that's totally cool. But it's just such a weird and very cool and special game and special series for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, it completely is. Like, I can't remember who I mentioned this to recently, but I had a conversation about Silent Hill with a creator recently, and I was just saying, like, some people criticize the fighting systems of, like, these Silent Hill games, but they're like that on purpose. You are not supposed to go in pooing like you are in a Resident Evil game, and that is part of the environment that the game's been created in, and it's supposed to be normally a normal guy or normal gal in Heather's case, you know, just going through it, seeing this really weird situation going on and reacting to it like you would, which is getting a new weapon and beating the pulp into it, and not in a clean way. This is not a clean game.
Harry Mason is not a special forces anti-terrorist like unit. Like, he's not. Like,
oh
have you
my
seen
god!
him?
Yes. And it's so funny when people criticize that. It's like, well, what you can't expect going into this game that it's going to be Resident Evil. It's not. Two completely different games. Yes, fine, they come into the horror genre, but very, very different. And I loved them. And oh my god, if you were playing Silent Hill 3, it's your first Silent Hill game. Like, I went in that late.
Weird.
Yeah, it's so scary. To me, it's like,
it's scary, and here I'll paint the picture. So you've played through the whole game at least once. You know the hospital part. You remember when you go into the Otherworld hospital and it's just bright red walls. That was when I had to take a break as a kid. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I'm actually terrified right now. I can't do it. I'm walking away. Dropping the controller, I'm walking away. It's over. And it made me feel, that was the first thing that made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I was uncomfortable. I was scared. I was uncomfortable in my own house. My own room.
100%.
And that is the first experience I ever had like that from any type of media. You know what I mean? So I think that's why, like, I gravitated towards it so quickly, and why a lot of my streaming, a lot of my video game and a lot of my streaming, I guess everything comes from Silent Hill and perhaps Silent Hill 3, because it did something to my brain, much like Final Fantasy 7, which is a completely different game and genre, I know, but it tickled my brain and twisted my brain chemistry in a way that like I think changed like how I like view horror games now.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's not saying I'm judgy. I'm not. But just like I can't help but like see a lot of Silent Hill and a lot of horror games today.
Oh,
and there's so much Silent Hill and horror. Like, you know, look at PT, which is a game that takes place in one single hallway. So many games have copied PT. Like thousands of games have copied PT at this point. And it's because it was so weird and revolutionary. That's a whole other bag of onions we can get into. But like, but again, like my friend, a fantastic streamer, a good friend of mine, D Cosmic. I don't know if you know him, but he likes to make the joke. Everybody's obsessed with this horror hallway for years now, and it's funny and it's true. But there's a reason that people are, though, because it was so breathtakingly terrifying. Like, and it's why hundreds of games have copied it. Like, and they will forever. Like, so yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I just think Silent Hill 3 was such an important game in turning me into who I am as like a horror lover and like as a horror streamer for sure.
100%. Yeah, for me the hospital part of Silent Hill 3 is absolutely horrifying. I remember going into the mirror room for the first time, and I'm sure we all do. Like that for me, I honestly, I panicked in a way I've never panicked before when I got into that room. Like I was genuinely like, you can't get out.
Can't get out. You're like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Like, and then eventually, spoiler, it lets you out, and if you wait long enough, and if you wait too long, you die.
Yes.
But like, I died. I did. I think we all did, because like, I don't know what to do. And then, because the floor is just crawling with this like red black gunk out of the sink.
Yeah.
And in the mirror, like Heather is becoming all encompassed by it. But in your world, like it's just all around you, and eventually the room gets pitch black and crawling with all these like the line of like bloods and whatever. Like it's such a crazy moment in the game your first time, and it's again horrifying. It's absolutely terrifying.
I don't think I'd ever seen a game do anything like that before in my life. Like Silent Hill did so many things. Like I love the fact you mentioned PT. Like we can go through so many different moments in Silent Hill and Konami's history of the games, because Silent Hill, I'd never seen anything like that before. Some people say arguably that Silent Hill 2 is the granddaddy of psychological horror. It birthed the genre. I mean, I argue Silent Hill 1 did it first, but it's a very similar argument either way. I mean, Silent Hill 1 doing psychological horror, if arguably that it did, in a way that was way different to Resident Evil,
Absolutely.
And then you got PT, like you mentioned, it so many times transcended horror. So many times. Such an incredible series. Hell yeah.
I agree.
But I love both series so much. But yeah, it's like comparing apples and pears for sure, isn't it? You just can't.
Exactly. They're similar, but they have such vast differences that it's hard to like compare them. Like Silent Hill F, fantastic game, and I can't wait for Resident Evil 9. I'm sure it will also be a fantastic game, and they both stand up as as kings in those. I think Silent Hill F is awesome. Controversial statement. I think Silent Hill F is the best Silent Hill game we've gotten since the Silent Hill or the Team Silent games.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. Like without a single doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I preferred F to 2 remake. I mean, I love both, but I prefer F.
Same. Everybody. I think you even asked me. You asked me, and I was like, no, Silent Hill F over Silent Hill 2 remake.
Yeah.
And other people asked me too. I was like, nope, Silent Hill F over Silent Hill 2 remake. That's a whole different can of worms, Johnny.
Yeah.
But I think Silent Hill 2 remake is very good. But man, I really hope for remake 1 they take note of all the padding they did in Silent Hill 2, which they did not need to do. That's a whole other can of worms. That we can have a whole podcast about that, about just that, honestly. But I hope they learn that they don't need to make areas 3 hours long. So that's I hope they take a lesson in that, and we get a very solid remake for the first one. That's all I'll say on that matter. But yeah. So.
I'll say this, Tropes. You and I just talk chewing the fat over Silent Hill for this last like 5-10 minutes, or maybe even longer. Like it makes me really want to do a tribute episode of Silent Hill on the podcast. Like I don't know if you've seen the previous episodes, but I've done Resident Evil tribute, Final Fantasy tribute, Sonic tribute. I might for season 10, I might do a Silent Hill tribute, and I will absolutely cordially invite you to that and get 2 other streamers with us.
I will be there. I will talk Silent Hill for 30 hours. Like I will, because
hold me to that. I want to do this. This is going to be so much fun.
Do it.
But
it will be hilarious, and I'm going to say a lot of things people aren't going to like, and that's fine. I'm just kidding.
can argue with you. Like, as far as I'm concerned, you are the king of Silent Hill, man. Absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
I will say there are people that know way more than me and that are better at me than me. Just a quick shout out to a Nub Zombie. If you Nub Zombie is the Silent Hill godfather in my opinion. Like he knows so much about the series. He has told me certain things where I'm just like I never even thought of that.
Wow.
And I've played these games for hundreds of hours. So like yeah, definitely check out Nub Zombie if you haven't. Anyways, please continue.
Please do, please do. So, okay, let's talk about like some more. If you were to have like a Mount Rushmore or like a top three games, let's go down a Mount Rushmore question. Is there like a Mount Rushmore of video gaming for you? What would it be?
Say top 3 or top 4.
Let's try a top 4. If not, let's go for top 3.
Okay, all right. So I'm so bad at these because I have to put games in their own genres for my favorites.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's so hard for me to be like, I like this game more than this game when they're two totally separate types of video games.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I have to pick because I'm a huge Soulsborne fan. I don't know if you know that. Like I have an entire Bloodborne sleeve. Like
Nice.
I love Bloodborne. I love Dark Souls. Like, so I'd have to say Bloodborne. Just amazing game and horror adjacent also. I would say Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Nice.
For sure.
Yeah.
Fantastic video game. I'm about Silent Hill 1 because that's what kind of started. Without Silent Hill 1, you wouldn't get Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, Silent Hill 4. You know what I mean? You wouldn't have. And if they made them, I don't think they would have been the same because you had that benchmark, you had that foundation of what the series was going to be like.
Yeah.
And you kind of get that whole vibe in one thing. And then I think probably if I had to pick a fourth one, I'd go with Final Fantasy VII. Like I think that would be like a Mount Rushmore of just 4 absolutely just Titan video games for sure. One of them being newer. I know Bloodborne's a little bit newer than those other ones, but it is still I think a very important game.
Yeah.
For sure. Because a lot of people that don't even like Souls games love Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Because it's so like, and I think that's probably one of the most replayed games ever is Bloodborne. Probably over. I would say over Elden Ring, but that's another conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that those 4 would be like a Mount Rushmore of just like very, very pristine video games for sure, in my opinion.
I mean, if you've not got horror, you've got gothicness across the whole thing. Like even some of the steampunky elements, some of the creepy elements of Fantasy 7 do sometimes get forgotten about, So yeah, there's an underbelly there of horror amongst them all. I love it. That's a heck of a haul for a games.
I feel bad not putting an RE game there, and I really wanted to, but it's. I feel like Resident Evil gets enough credit to be honest.
Exactly.
That like,
so
that's what I'm saying is like that y'all get enough credit for sure. Y'all get games all the time. There's like 27 games in your series. Okay, I don't want to hear it.
Pipes out. No, I do love both, but yeah. I mean, I am Team Ari over Team Silent Hill, but I love them both so much. And I'd argue, it's one thing I was going to bring up earlier, is that I'd argue, you were kind of saying it yourself, that Silent Hill has probably had a bigger impact now, possibly a big hot take this. I think Silent Hill's had a bigger impact on horror now in 2025 than possibly Resident Evil has over that stretch of time. Maybe 20 years ago, that would be a completely different conversation, right? But I think now, like you mentioned, the whole PT thing, like, I think PT has had the biggest impact in horror than anything else in the last 10, 15 years. So, yeah. If it wasn't for that title, you can't really quite make that argument for Resident Evil anymore, So I don't know that's quite a hot take, but I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
No, I agree. I think that Silent Hill, especially with F coming out, has definitely pushed the envelope. And I've read this thing online. I agree with it. I think that Silent Hill F is Capcom's RE7. I think that it's the moment that Silent Hill can go in a place that is it. I feel like Silent Hill F put the series in a place that it can go in a very cool direction, and they need to cap it. They need to run with that. They need to take it and go. They need to do something else that's similar. And here, I was talking to Bean about this the other day. You can't keep doing the same thing all the time. And I'm not gonna say the parts about Silent Hill F that make it different. You know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. There is a part of the game where the game becomes something you're not expecting. Yep. But I think it's exactly what the series needs. It needs that kick in the ass to be a little bit different and to do something to go a different direction.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, why don't I? If you're gonna do the same thing, I could just go back and play Silent Hill. I got it right there. Like, I can just play that instead because I already have it. So I like that they're like, we're gonna try something new, and it works, and it's awesome, and it's beautiful. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Yeah, completely. That's completely fair. So, have you been someone that has been like an achievement hunter over the years, trophy hunter? What's your relationship with that?
When I was younger, yes. I had this conversation with my partner actually. She is obsessed with 100%ing and platinuming things right now. I'm not. I'm just like, cool, I finished it. I'm good to go. I got a lot of things in the backlog. I got things I need to do. So I kind of just want to go on to the next thing, which, and again, I'm not, I like watching people trophy hunt and like platinum. I like watching that stuff because it's really cool to see them do everything. My take is, again, I have a lot of other games I would like to play. And so, but if I spend hours trying to get these trophies to platinum, that takes away from the time I could be spending on other experiences. Again, I love it. I think it's really, really cool. I just don't think I have time for it anymore. There's a lot of cool games out there, and that's no tea, no shade, on people that do like it. It's just not for me anymore. I don't think. When I was younger, absolutely, all the time. Like, but as I got older, and as I like found more games that I want to play and like speedrun stuff like that. I think once I started seriously speedrunning games, that I stopped doing that. I think I was like, okay, cool. Now that I've beaten it, I got the endings. Tunnel F, for instance, I got all the endings, and then I was speedrunning it immediately after that. And I was actually late to the party too. I was like, a lot of my friends that are like, bigger speedrunners and stuff, they were already doing it. Because they have the time to, which is totally cool. But I felt like late to the game. I got kind of FOMO for not being in the fucking runnings already. So my thing is I usually will play a game, I will finish it, and if I want to run it, I will start doing that immediately. I'm just not much of a 100%er anymore. I'm just not, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, at all.
It's just there's a lot. Time is so short here, like in general in life.
Yeah.
So I would like to experience as much as I can.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. So
that's completely fair, and it's a lovely segue actually into speedrunning. I had to talk about it at some point. So, I mean, am I right in saying you have over 20 world records in speedrunning at the moment? I don't know if any of those have been broken, but
so I had at one point, I've had multiple world records over different video games, but I think my probably my best known one and the one that I worked the hardest on was I got every single world record on PC in Silent Hill 3 at one point. That was 44 categories. And I've lost some of those records. I have a lot of them still, but I have lost some of those. Will I go back for them? Maybe. Silent Hill 3 was a huge part of how I built my channel. And how I broke into the speedrunning community was with Silent Hill 3, which wasn't my first run, actually. My first speedrun that I ever learned, funny enough, was the Castlevania Symphony of the Night speedrun.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I did it for like a week, and then I moved on with my hilarious stream setup at the time, which was with a laptop that was sitting on a dining room table chair in my bedroom at the time. Then I got into Silent Hill 4 actually on console, and then I went into Silent Hill 3. And then Silent Hill 3 is when I started really like falling in love with it and really kept pushing. And eventually, I went and I got every world record in that on that board, which was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work because I had to learn so many different categories, so many different strats, so many different this, so many different that. But I did it, and it was very, very cool. And then after I did that, I do run Silent Hill 3 for marathons, stuff like that, and I love doing that. I haven't grinded Silent Hill 3 in a long time. Will I go back to it? Maybe. If I do that, I have to go at it very, very hard. Because especially for Silent Hill 3, I'm getting record. Like if I'm running that game, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting world record.
Of course.
So if I do go back for those times, that's what I'll be doing for sure. I have most of them still, but I did lose a few, which is fine. Like records are made to be broken. Yes. I've never been salty about that. I've never been mad at another runner for getting a better time than me. I think that's very silly. I have known runners in the past. Obviously, not going to name any names, but I have known runners in the past that do get salty at other runners for getting a better time. And I'm just like, why, dude? This is great. Like, yes, it doesn't feel great to have your record broken. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say it does, but be happy that the run is alive and well. if people are beating your times, that's a good thing for the community.
Yes.
If people are getting records and beating times and PBing, that's amazing for the community. I have seen boards fall apart because of that.
Yeah.
And I've seen boards fall apart because of arguments about the dumbest things. And I'm not trying to get super serious, but I just want to say, like, don't be upset that if somebody takes your record or gets a better time than you, that's good, because guess what? If they're doing better than you, you can learn off of each other and improve off of each other and make your community stronger. That's what it's about.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If that's not what if you're into speedrunning just for you and you don't like anybody else, that's your business. But we're all in this together. So like, why not help your fellow runners, your friends? Because guess what? Like, that's what it's about, dude.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's sorry, I got off base.
No, not at all.
But I kind of lost where we were at, to be honest.
Well, it's talking about your relationship with speedrunning, so it was all that. It was all.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've had a lot of records in different games, mostly the Silent Hill series. I got pretty far into RE running. A lot of you runners for RE are insane though. So,
yes.
like you know, shout out to a lot of those RE runners, dude. Like, they are wonderful people, man. They are something else, dude. And you know a fair amount of them too.
Yeah.
They are just other animals, dude. Like, I will say, when I started running RE9 though, not RE9, I'm sorry, RE8. I got really into RE8, and I was like, I'm going to get top 10. Okay, got top 10. I'm going to get top 5, got top 5. And I'm at second currently. I haven't run it in a while. I am going to go back to it before. This is for New Game Casual. I'm going to go back to it before RE9 comes out, and I'm actually going to return back to Village of Shadows speedrunning, because that run is very hard, but it is so much fun. It is so fun and rewarding. But it is very mentally taxing when you mess something up. But anyways, yeah, so again, like I got super into Silent Hill speedrunning. After Silent Hill 3, I got into 4 again, and then I got into 1. I was actually lucky enough. I've ran Silent Hill 1 at SGDQ. I ran it at SGDQ 2024, which was absolutely fantastic, and it was an amazing experience. And now I just go to GDQ because I love it. And even if I don't get in, like I went last year, I didn't get in last year, which is totally fine, but I still went, and GDQ was just such a fun time, and it's just incredible people there, and incredible speedrunners, and it's just such a great experience. But no, I love running Silent Hill. I love running Resident Evil games. They are just they are not the most, especially the older ones. They are not the most complex. They are, but they aren't for their own reasons. But like there's just something special about those old classic survival horror games that make them so fun to speedrun, like with the vibes and the voice acting you get to hear. And just like, it's always a good time. Especially if you run RE1, like you get to hear like every time you start a run, you get to hear just the classic, wow, what a mansion. Like you hear it all the time.
So many times.
And while yes, it can get very annoying. It's still, looking back, it's like, it's always a pleasure to like hear that, and then you're just like, oh hey, what up, Barry? How you doing? Like, blood. Okay, cool. Is it Chris's blood? Hope it's not Chris's blood. All right, cool. Move on. So like, you hear it so many times that it becomes like a meme to yourself and your community, and that's what makes those games pretty fun, I think, honestly.
Completely, man. Oh, but yeah, I remember like following your speedrunning journey when you were on the rampage of every single Silent Hill 3 record, man. Like I followed you like a year or two before then. Saw your YouTube video about how to break it down and how to do a Silent Hill 3 run. Someone else made a video about with your footage, and it was incredible to see that. And then I remember just seeing it. I think it was 2 years ago. I think it was, wasn't it? Something like that. In terms of like, you were like, right, okay, I'm going to get every single Silent Hill 3 record, and I was like, oh my god, Tropes is killing it. It's so good. I love this. It was so awesome, man. And
it was a lot, dude, because when I first was looking at all of them, I was like, okay, cool, gotta get this one, gotta get this one, gotta get this. This is me printing the type, by the way. Gotta get this one, and then I counted like, oh my god, there's 44 categories. What did they do with this board? And so I was like, all right, here we go. And then I was like, cool, got it, cool. And then eventually I was like, oh my god, we have the last one. And here's a word to anybody that wants to get some of these records. I lost one of my 10-star times. 10-star is so annoying. So please, word to the wise, like, you're gonna lose some runs because that run is so annoying. But I think Silent Hill 3's 10-star is just casually super difficult, and so speedrunning it was very upsetting because if one thing wrong happens, it's pretty much over. And you have to start over, and that run takes a pretty dang long time because you have to kill a certain amount of enemies by shooting a certain amount of enemies with melee combat, and and you have to take under a certain amount of damage, which is the hard part. Like if you mess up and you take just over, I think it's 500 points of damage, even if you're at the end, your run is dead because you're not getting 10 stars. So like that was definitely a tough one to do, just because in terms of the RNG involved of like a lot of the enemies, because a lot of enemies can hit you, especially there's an enemy called the Slurper, which you know what that is. It's one that like crawls on the ground. It's like it runs you over and knocks you over. Not only stealing your time, but it also hits you for like multiple points of damage, like over and over again sometimes. And so you're taking a ton of damage. And if you get to a point where you get over an amount, like, okay, well now I'm starting over, even though I'm, it doesn't matter, it's over. So that was definitely difficult. But I would say in terms of getting them all, it was just time consuming, and it was definitely difficult at times, but I did it. And then I think that was my, like, I had nothing else to prove in Silent Hill 3, at least for now. Like, I'm good. Like, and then I kind of I let the chips fall where they may at that point. And I've lost a few records, which is totally fine. Will I get them again someday? Maybe. It just kind of depends on how things go in terms of, like, maybe something will spark, but I'm kind of moved on to newer Resident Evil games and newer games at this point for now.
Yeah, of course. So. I got a question for you from a previous streamer. Obviously, they weren't aware that it was going to be landing for you, this question, so here it goes. So the question for you, Tropes, is what's a game that everyone considers as good, but you haven't personally enjoyed? It's a good question.
Okay, all right, so I'm going to probably get some hate mail for this one, but I think RE4 OG is incredibly okay.
Right, okay, well, I
think it is incredibly okay. So I'm just saying, okay, all right, so
go on, hit us with this.
It is not bad. It is not bad, but if I have to hear Leon one more time in REOG, I'm going to scream.
Yeah, fair.
I have been playing the remake a lot lately because I've been doing permadeath, which has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I actually really like the remake a lot more than I used to. Probably because of the randos and the mods and stuff. But again, RE4 is not a bad game. I'm not going to say it's not a bad game. It just has some major flaws that as I played the original, I have it on GameCube behind me. Like I have my original copy when it came out, and I loved it on GameCube. I don't know why, but I played it before the remake came out, and I was like, I can't stand this. Like, I don't know what it was, man.
Yeah.
I like watching friends play it. I like watching people speedrun it. I like watching people do permadeath of OG. I just don't like playing it. I don't know what it is. And maybe I'll come back to it. Maybe I'll give it another shot. And again, I know I'm going to get a lot of, why would you say that? That's such a good game. But like, hey, man, I could have said RE0, but I also don't like RE0 at all.
Yeah.
I think RE0 is kind of... It's kind of a mess, in my opinion. I think Billy's a cool character. I don't like what they did to Rebecca in that game. A lot of the enemies are very frustrating for a game like that, especially the little monkeys that jump around. You know, it's just like that game is hard because of the design of it, not because it's hard. It's just because it's poorly designed, in my opinion. And people were complaining about the item boxes, how they don't make sense, and how this doesn't make sense. Like, okay, well then you can just drop everything on the ground. Okay, so I have like 10 items sitting on the mansion lobby floor. This is this is a lot better. Thanks, guys. But no. Again, I'm not saying RE4 is bad. I'm just saying it has flaws that I particularly do not enjoy.
Yeah,
and I think the remake really fixed a lot of those things.
Yeah,
that's just my personal opinion on it. And on a good game that does have some serious flaws.
Sure. No, I can vibe with that. That's fair. That's completely understandable.
I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry for all the mega fans of RE4 out there. I'm probably fake fan tropes, but no, like I just think it has some
Who's
things
this guy?
I don't like. I will say the striker glitch is hilarious though.
Yeah.
You use the striker, you run super fast.
It's
Love that.
so
That's
good.
Cool. But I'm a speedrunner, so I just like fun tech
yeah.
regardless. So, but anyways,
God,
So I think RE4 OG for me is gonna have to be my answer on that one. As a Silent Hill RE fan, I got to see our RE4 OG for sure.
It's a shame they didn't put the dip run glitch in the remake. Actually, it would have been hilarious to see if they could do it.
Well, it's funny. So they made a joke of it, though. You know that, right? They made a joke of it.
No, I haven't heard this.
The charms you get in the remake.
Right.
You know the charms they make in the remake.
Yeah,
there is a charm that's the striker charm, and it makes you run 8% faster.
Oh, that's so good.
So they know about it, and
Fair
they made
play.
it into a joke and made it into an item. That is freaking that is
so good.
Capcom, that was good.
Fair play.
Good job. So I thought that was fantastic when I saw that. Like, there's no freaking way that's nope, that's real. That is a real thing.
Hell yeah. I had no idea.
Yep.
So you briefly mentioned like your first stream before, or first streams. Like, so what was your journey going into streaming? Like, what was that path going into it like for you? Was there key decisions or thoughts that came into it? And then what was your first stream doing, and how did it come across? Talk to us about that journey.
Okay, so my first stream, I'm gonna break it down into two different things because one of them was definitely a little bit more serious than the other. My first stream was just off my PS4 with a horrible headphone PS4 microphone and headset, which was horrific. But I streamed straight from my console, and I was actually playing Bloodborne.
Nice. Yeah.
For one person that liked watching me play, she was a friend of mine. So she would watch my stream, and it would only be me and her in chat. Like there would be nobody else to come and watch me play, which was fine. I wasn't doing it to like for any other reason other than to like, be able to hang out with her and have her enjoy it or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was kind of where that whole thing started with me streaming. And then eventually, I got a laptop, and when I wanted to actually stream with like using like OBS, which I actually first started using Streamlabs when I first started, but I think my first game I ever streamed with Streamlabs was Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and my setup was this: I had my chair in front of my TV, I had a kitchen table, like a wooden chair next to my chair, next to where I'm sitting at, that had a laptop in it with a webcam attached to it. So the webcam was at an angle, like down angle, like you could see like my bottom of my neck on my face. It was the weirdest setup. I don't know why I did that. And I used an external capture card to capture my console into it. But it was a very broken. I had my mic at the time was, oh my god, I think a quad something mic. It's like the red glowing mic. I don't remember what it is, but I had one of those, and I attached it to the same chair that my laptop was sitting on. So the arm was on the chair, and it was like over like this, like you didn't know it was attached to a chair. Like that was my first streaming setup. Actual streaming setup was that. And looking back, I would not do it ever again.
No.
But we all had to start somewhere, and that was like my main thing was I wasn't even speedrunning. I was just playing it casually. I was playing Castlevania on my console with an external capture card, one that was like $10 on Amazon.
Yeah.
Like, it was not even good. But that was my first ever like streaming setup. Like real streaming setup was a dining room table basically, or dining room chair basically. So and I remember being terrified and knowing I was gonna mess up and knowing that random people were gonna come in and watch, and that made me so terrified and so nervous. And whenever somebody new that I didn't know would chat, I would get so nervous, and I'd be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And just like not know what I'm doing, not know what I'm saying, and be like so like, oh my god, I hope they like what they're seeing right now, like, but that was like the start of it. That was the start of the journey.
Yeah.
And obviously after you do it so many times, like eventually I got a computer, and that portion started. I've got to go back a bit. That portion started during lockdown.
Right.
But I think a lot of people started getting more into streaming and stuff was for sure during lockdown, for COVID and whatnot. But eventually I built my first PC for streaming, and I got a desk that I made out of 2 dresser drawers and a tabletop. That was my first desk. But then it started off there. I got a monitor, and then I got a second monitor, and then I still have some old stream footage and clips from way back then too that I would be happy to send you to just for a laugh. But yeah, it's been a long journey coming from that to where I'm at now with the office and whatnot, and the collectibles around, and it's just been a crazy streaming journey that I'm lucky to be able to do as much as I do, and I'm lucky to be surrounded by so many cool people like you and Moonbean and just I've made a lot of friends like in the speedrunning community that I've grown to really like as human beings, like D Cosmic, Maxi Lobes, Captain Ezekiel, and there's a lot more too that I've become friends with and have really like enjoyed becoming friends with these people and just sharing stories and watching their runs and having them come in, talk to me and like help me out, and just all these relationships that I've built with so many different streamers and people it's been a gift, and it's been just awesome, and I've really really do cherish it, and I don't
Yeah.
take it for granted like ever. It's something special for sure, dude. It's something really cool and unique, and people that don't stream and don't have these kind of relationships don't really understand. Like at work, I tell people, "Oh yeah, I have a podcast from this weekend with my friend Johnny who runs a show for streamers," and like, "Oh, that's cool." Like they don't get it,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
okay. Like
Yeah.
they don't have to, and it's just like it's just something so cool about this kind of stuff that I just think is so neat to be able to do, and it's just really really cool and awesome. So
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
I go on about that forever, but we all know that it's just such a cool thing to be able to do
It is, isn't it?
and chat with people and and get these achievements and do so many cool things and it's right at your own in your own place at your own desk and
Yeah.
then you go off and you go to TwitchCon, hang out with people, SGDQ, you hang out with people, whatever else and it's just you meet so many cool people doing this kind of stuff and it's so awesome.
Yeah. Completely, man. Completely.
I got really emotional there. We'll get back
No.
to being funny in a second, but like
No. It's so true when you reflect like that. It is. It's like it's so wonderful to be able to do what we do. Like I don't think we envisioned this like maybe not even 10 years ago, never mind 20 years ago. About that we have this privilege. Like it's privilege is definitely the word I'd use as well. In terms of it is an absolute privilege to be able to sit down, play games, talk to people who've got like-minded interests and are wonderful, and make good friends on all from my home. It's like it's like a dream come true. I love it, and like you said, it's a privilege to talk to you and talk to many people live on the podcast, man. So yeah, thank you for sharing your journey. I have one more question, but I'll get to you
first, please.
Well, I've got one more question,
Okay.
so I'll end on it.
Okay. I just want to say real quick on those notes. If you are a streamer and you're struggling and you're upset about your numbers or this or that, think of it this way. Twitch is such a huge place with so many different content creators. There's an unfathomable amount of channels. If even one person is watching your stream, giving you their time, that is a privilege, and that is fantastic. And you should definitely cherish that. And because like one day, like it doesn't matter if you're streaming to one person or 100 or 1,000. Like those people could be anywhere, and they're choosing to spend their limited time hanging out with you and talking to you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You're doing something right. So even if you have one person in chat, two people, cherish that because they could be anywhere else. So they're hanging out with you. They're spending time on your channel, doing what you do, hanging out with you. So I want to say that because I talked to Bean about that a lot, and it doesn't matter how many people you have. If you have 1 or 1,000, they're hanging out with you. They want to be around you, and that's something awesome.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't take that for granted.
100%. I've always compared it to like your viewership is like people end up spending it that time with you IRL. Like if you imagine if you got an average of 10, people go, "Oh, 10's rubbish." I'm like, no, 10's amazing. Can you imagine being in a room having 10 people watch you play a game? Physically imagine that. That actually might be terrifying for some people, but also it's so cool.
Oh, for sure. Here's the other thing is I think if you have an average of over 5 viewers on Twitch, you are more than like. You are getting more than like I think like 90% of channels.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
I think it's that crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So like if you are doing to like if you're streaming to 50 people, that's insane.
Yes.
Like that is absolutely freaking wild.
Absolutely.
Like so like don't take that for granted ever. Like if you're in your brain about numbers, I've done it. I've
all done it. Yeah.
I've definitely done it. We've all done it. But like you're doing better than a lot of people. Even if you do have 1 or 2, like again, it's a privilege, dude. Like time is short, time's limited. Like that's a privilege. Like Johnny said, don't take that for granted.
Yeah,
completely. Be proud of that.
100%. So I'm going to combine 2 kind of mini questions into one, which is to just ask you what are some of your favorite streaming memories, and then as a fit to finalize on what advice would you give to anyone thinking of picking up streaming that might not have done it before?
Okay. All right. So first off, favorite stream memories. All right. There's one I was just thinking of is because of it has to do with Moonbeam. Definitely go check out Moonbeam. Fantastic variety streamer. Does some speedrunning. Absolutely wonderful person. You'll be happy there. I promise you. But she and a lot of others were in my chat. We were watching a special events. It was the Game Awards or something, or Summer Games Fest, something like that. We were watching it at my stream, and Sybil, who you guys saw earlier, in the corner of my room, that my camera was a little bit different. It was facing my door to my office at the time, and Sybil can be seen on the ground. I'm not kidding. Booty scooting across the carpet in the background, and there's a clip of it because Bean clipped it, and she was just cackling in chat, and I was like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Your dog just booty scooted across the floor in the background," and there was a clip of it, and it is so funny, and I erupted. I was dying afterwards after she pointed that out. But yeah, that was a very fun moment. I guess I want to go back earlier though. I have a hard time reading chat sometimes. It's just a curse of mine. I'm really good about keeping up with chat while I'm doing runs.
Right, yeah.
A lot of people have said that's something like I do pretty well, which I think I'm horrible at it. But so I was looking at chat. This was years ago, by the way. But I'm bad about sometimes reading back and forth as I'm like trying to focus, and we've all done it. But I kept trying to pronounce somebody's name. I kept saying Patudu Lord or something like that. And my buddy in chat was like, his name is Potato Overlord. And I was just like, I can't read in chat. It's an ongoing meme. I just can't read. Yeah, we've all done that. I was just like, I was like, Patudu to Patudu to like, it's Potato Overlord. Damn it. But then of course we all have the memories, just like you're in chat and you're just like,
oh yeah,
everyone's like, your mic's muted. Shit. Like that is everybody's streaming nightmare that happens all the time. Like if that hasn't happened to you, you're lying.
Yep.
Like anybody that says it hasn't happened to them, there's no way.
So true.
But I still do it like at least once a month. But God, I honestly like I have so many good memories, Johnny. It's honestly hard to say.
Yeah.
Another one was I had a birthday stream and we got up to a good amount of the required subs for the subathon, which was really cool. I appreciated that very much. But my partner, a lot of you know, Loop, she came into the office and just did the whole pie in the face trick, which was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Like I haven't done it since because we made a huge mess and I hated it. But but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Also, last year for my birthday, we popped a bunch of the confetti cannons, which I'm not allowed to do that anymore.
No.
But
Yeah.
no. Well, they gave Loop horrific allergies the rest of the day. Like,
no.
yeah, I don't know. It was like all night she was like pretty much dying. I felt horrible. But anyway, so like I just have so many good memories of like playing new horror games and getting world records or PBing on the run I'm doing, and it's really cool when chat is so supportive when you're in the middle of a run and you're trying to get record, you're trying to get a PB or whatnot, and everyone in chat is like rooting you on. It is such a crazy feeling, and I think that will segue perfectly into like my advice for anybody that wants to pick up streaming, or if you're interested in speedrunning. I've had a lot of people in chat that have been interested in speedrunning silent games because of my runs and tutorials, things like that. And I tell everybody the same thing. If you want to, let me know. I'll give you any advice you need.
Yeah.
Like I love helping new runners out. It's one of my favorite things to do. Of any game that I run, I absolutely love helping people. But I think that the biggest thing I can say to any streamer is, anyone that wants to get into it, is do not pay attention to numbers ever. Don't do that. Don't look at your numbers, because most people streaming or starting, it's going to get in their head.
Yeah.
And my biggest piece of advice is take off that setting that shows your freaking viewer count. Don't look at that ever. And honestly, like, even if you don't have a lot of people in chat, just talk to chat. Just you honestly, people are going to watch you for what you're doing, but they're going to watch you for you.
Yeah.
And so I think that the biggest thing is just be yourself. Be yourself. Don't try to be entertaining. Don't try to do something exciting. Just be yourself. And honestly, like, do what you think you're good at and do what feels right for you. Like, if you want to play Fortnite on stream for 12 hours, like, play Fortnite on stream for 12 hours. I guess another thing I would like to say is, I don't know, just don't worry about numbers. Don't worry about, making it to this, making it to that. Let things happen organically. People pick up on that. Whenever I find new streamers, I am way more gravitated to follow streamers that are themselves and just do what they like to do.
Yeah.
I don't gravitate to, not to say some people do have like a fake personality, but like, don't have that fake persona. Don't, just be yourself. Just be you. Just be you. Have fun with what you're doing. If you like doing community things with your community, get things that get your community involved, like play community games, stuff like that. Just have fun, do what you like to do. That's my biggest thing for it is don't worry about if someone's gonna like what you're doing. Worry about if you're gonna like what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
That's my biggest thing I can say.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
100%. No, wonderful advice. It's arguably the biggest advice. I mean, doing the podcast as long as I have, that most people probably should say and should think, because it's such an easy thing to do, but it's also a really important thing to not do, because it does make a big impact. And like you said, people pick up on vibes all the time, don't they? And then if you're not having a good time, they're not going to have a good time, and then they will definitely go down. So just don't worry about it, and just like you said, turn the counter off. So
there's plenty. Yeah, turn that counter off. That's the biggest thing. Is turn the counter off. Don't even look at. Don't pay attention. Don't look at your phone if you have your stream on your phone. Just don't even pay attention to it. Pretend there's 100 people there.
Yes.
Pretend there's however many people you want there.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna be fine. And again, I sometimes don't have the best vibes on stream, especially if I'm speedrunning or if I'm like not having a good time in permadeath, which is what I'm currently working on, and I'm struggling and not having fun at the moment. People are gonna pick up on that.
Yeah.
And most of your time, if you have a good community, they're gonna say, hey, you're cool, don't worry about it, this or that. I still don't want to have that vibe, but we're all human. We're going to. Or we're all gonna get in a bad funk streaming.
Yeah.
And I guess one more thing of advice is, if you are streaming and you're not feeling it, don't be afraid to be, hey guys, I ain't feeling it today.
Oh yeah.
I've done it.
Yep.
Don't be afraid to be like, hey man, my brain is not in this today. I need to take tonight off. I've done it. I think you've done it before. Midstream, I've been like, hey guys, I'm not feeling it today. I gotta go chill. And most people are like, oh dude, yeah, go take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, if they don't, there's something wrong. But like again, remember, they're there for you. They're there because they think you're cool enough to hang out with. So just be you and don't worry about your statistics, and you're gonna be fine. That's my biggest piece of advice. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tropes. It's been such a wonderful chat, man. I knew it would be. Hell yeah.
I was hoping so. I was like, here's my thing. I know I can just keep talking about one thing for like an hour. So I'm sorry if I talked about one thing for too long.
Not at all.
But I have so much fun talking to you, and
you too, man.
Even even if you don't want to do it in a podcast setting, if you're ever like, hey man, you want to talk about Silent Hill for a bit? Cool, man.
Yeah.
Just call me. Like,
let's do it for sure. Yeah, I'm
always
definitely
down,
thinking
dude.
about doing that podcast episode with Silent Hill. So I would have got an idea in my head of how to do it. So
call me and tell me when, man. I'll be there. Like, I'm
go.
down. That'll be so much fun.
Well, one more time, Tropes, do you want to tell us where we can find you on your social media? And everyone, you better be following. If you're not already, you better be following now.
Thank you. So it's just twitch.tv/DeathTropes, DeathTropes. I probably misspelled that, but whatever. Again, YouTube, DeathTropes, same thing. Instagram, same thing. A lot of these things you can find updates of things I'm doing when I'm going live, this and that. I got TikTok recently. I'm kind of on boomer territory. Don't know what I'm doing. So if you want to follow me there, that'd be awesome also. But yeah, so you can find me in all those places. Mostly just on Twitch though. That's where I do most of my stuff. And then on YouTube, I just put up, speedrunning PBs or new playthroughs, things like that. But yeah, Twitch is my main community hub. So definitely come check us out there.
Yes, please do. Please do. Tropes, what a pleasure. Thanks so much. And thanks so much to you for watching / listening. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.